It took about like 30 minutes to get from my house to the doctor's office, and we parked in the parking lot. We're walking to the building, and I'll never forget it. It was a 3 o'clock appointment in the third floor of building 3. So we go to we make it to the doctor's office, and walk into the building, and we have to go like walk all the way to the back of the building by the elevators to go up to the third floor. His office was like pretty much down the opposite end of the hallway in the building, so it was a pretty long walk. And as usual, I was hobbling all the way through it, walking at a snail's pace. Took me a while to finally get there. I went in, the receptionist checked me in, put me into the exam room, and the doctor came in, and he said, okay, let's take a look at it. And at this point, again, my mind wasn't right at the time, so all I had told the doctor was I was having a pain in my ass. He said, I have to look at it. And I told him that I already went to the doctor literally 2 days ago, and she looked at it, she told me what it was. I don't want to have it looked at again. Because I don't know if you've ever had like a cut on your body and something hits it, and it hurts like hell. Imagine that down there, it hurts like a bitch. And I already went through it once, I didn't want to go through it again. But the doctor was insistent, so he's like, yeah, I can't make an accurate diagnosis unless I do it for myself. Spent like 5 minutes arguing with him, but it was not working. I was like, okay, fine, do it. So he does the examination, and I'm not gonna lie, I yelled like a bitch. It hurt like a mother. And after he's done, he looks at me, he's like, yeah, it's a fissure. I'm like, I could have fucking told you that. Thank you for, doing that to me again. After that, he's like, okay, there's nothing else there, and go home. So at this point, we're leaving his room, and my mom is waiting outside, and he's telling my mom what he told me, which is, everything's fine, it's just a cut. And my mom said, you gotta love it, maternal instincts. She knew something was up. She's like, there's something wrong with him. We need to do a blood test, just to make sure everything's fine. The doctor looks at my mom's like, there's no need. We don't do blood tests for these types of tests. We just examine it and that's it. My mom spent like a good 5-6 minutes arguing with the guy, like, there's something wrong with him. We need to do a blood test. And I feel like a dick for doing this, but I actually got in the middle of them and I was like, Mom, please stop. You're embarrassing me. Like, let's just go home. He said it. There's nothing wrong. Let's just go home. She's like, no, I'm not leaving here until we get a blood test. There's something wrong with you. We need to find out what it is. So the doctor kind of like, okay, you know what, fine, I'll give you guys what you want. He put in the order for the blood test, and I asked him, I'm like, I'm like in no condition to be walking right now. Is it possible for you to have somebody from the lab come up here, draw my blood here? He kind of looks at me, he gives me like this like snarky little grin. He's like, I think you can walk. Because again, he's looking at like a 6'2", 300-pound, 19-year-old kid, and he's like, stop bullshitting me. You're perfectly fine. You can walk. The lab was in the basement, so had to walk out of the hallway, walk all the way back to the elevator, down to the basement, and another like pretty much down the end of that hallway to the lab. Again, it took me forever to get there. I went. They drew my blood. I came back, and this time when I was waiting in the waiting room, the receptionist saw my face and she saw the shape that I was in. She's like, you look like crap. Do you want to come inside and lie down? So that's what I did. The doctor walks in with the results, and that same smile on his face. He's expecting to see perfect results, and it's kind of to look at me and my mom and say, thank you for wasting my time. Please be on your way. He looks at the results, and I shit you not, word for word, this is what he says. He kind of like said it with a stutter. Some of your blood counts are too low. It's probably cancer. Just blurts it out like that. I look at my mom, and it's like she just saw a ghost. Her eyes are wide open. Her face is just motionless. She's not moving. And the second he said that, I tried to, I kind of looked at my mom, and just to lighten up the mood a little bit, I'm like, "Je vais get unk." My mom did not like that. She's just frozen. In the defense of the doctor, because it took him by surprise pretty much just as much as it took me, my mom and I. He wasn't expecting anything like that, so when he saw the results, it kind of took him by surprise too. So I don't think he did that intentionally. Just he wasn't in as much shock as we were. And again, in my mind, I'm just thinking, it's kind of like what you see on TV. They're advertising a new medicine. They have to say every possible side effect, anything from constipation, diarrhea, to heart attack and death. They have to list everything. That's what I'm thinking it is. After he said that, he starts reading me the results. He's like, okay, your hemoglobin is supposed to be above 14. Yours is at an 8.1. I'm like, okay, that's not that bad. And I've always been a math nerd, so he's saying, it's supposed to be 14, it's 8. I'm like, okay, it's 8 out of 14. It's like a little bit above a 50%. It's not too bad of an F. He says your platelets or your white count is supposed to be above a 4. Yours is at a 1.2. Like, okay, that's pretty bad. And then he says your platelets are supposed to be above a 130. Yours is around 40. I was like, okay, again, pretty fucking bad. Now, again, I have no idea what these numbers mean at the time, and I'm still trying to process, everything that's going on. My mom is still frozen. At the point when it started hitting me, like, okay, there's something wrong, was after he read the results, he just looked at us. He's like, okay, we need to, you need to go to the ER, but don't worry, stay here. I'll call somebody. They'll come. They'll take you to the ER. In the meantime, do you need water? Is there a blanket? Do you need a blanket? Can I do anything for you? And that's when I was like, okay, 45 minutes ago when this guy sent me to the lab, he smirked at me. He's like, I think you can walk. And now he's treating me like I'm a guest at a VIP hotel. So I'm like, okay, there's definitely something wrong. I waited in his office until they came to take me to the ER.